Men, if you're ready to reclaim your edge, listen up. I used to be held back by constant bathroom trips, with multiple wake-ups during my sleep and looking for restrooms whenever I was out. Then I discovered Better Man. After just 2 months, I started experiencing fewer trips to the bathroom, less urge to go, and I even slept through some nights. I feel a noticeable boost in my overall well-being, even sexual stamina. It gives me the freedom and confidence to live life on my terms. Better Man is clinically tested and trusted by thousands of men over 25 years. Ready to take back control? Go to BeBetterNow.com to order your supply today. That's BeBetterNow.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed. Individual results may vary.
You're listening to Make It, the indie film podcast.
Welcome to Summaries. Let's dive in. Today, on this deep dive, we're unpacking a really fascinating conversation from the Make It podcast. Their guest was filmmaker Emil Gallardo.
Right. So our mission here is basically to pull out the key stuff from that chat, follow Gallardo's journey into filmmaking. We'll look at what sparked his passion, the challenges, the insights, especially around his short film, 1, 2, 3, All Eyes on Me. That's the Oscar qualifying one.
Big deal. And we'll touch on his views on representation, too, and some pretty surprising twists in his career.
Definitely some twists.
Okay, let's get into it. Alex Ivey here.
And I'm Allison Inverness.
So it turns out directing wasn't actually Gallardo's first, creative impulse.
No. What was it?
He initially saw himself writing books, which is interesting. Growing up in LA, literally surrounded by the film industry.
Yeah, but he said he felt totally outside of it, right? Like no connections, no family in the biz.
Exactly. Zero insider track.
But what's really notable, I think, is that even without that access, movies themselves were still huge for him.
Yeah, he mentioned that. An escape.
Right, an escape from, a sometimes tough home life.
Yeah.
He specifically mentioned Indiana Jones.
Classic adventure, that real transportive power of film.
Totally. And you gotta wonder how that early experience, film as refuge, maybe kind of planted a seed for wanting to create those worlds himself later.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until way later, after a whole decade in tech, that a short, 3-minute film school assignment just ignited this directing passion.
Wow, just like that.
Pretty much. Even though, and this is key, he felt he was horrible at it. His words.
But he knew.
He knew that's what he wanted to do. It's kind of compelling how feeling totally inept didn't, kill that initial spark.
It really shows the power of that internal drive, doesn't it? Even if you're not instantly good, if the passion's strong enough.
It keeps you going.
Yeah. And it connects to something else he mentioned. His family wasn't in film, but there was this shared love for writing.
Oh, interesting.
So maybe that storytelling thing was always there, just kind of waiting for the right medium.
Could be. He also said something about feeling the school grading system was a fraud.
Okay.
Yeah.
That hints at maybe a more independent, unconventional way of thinking.
I mean, it sounds like it could fuel a creative type.
For sure.
Okay, but here's where the path gets really, really unexpected.
Oh, yeah. Where'd he go?
Before filmmaking seriously took off, he took this massive detour into gangster rap.
Wait, gangster rap? Seriously?
Yep. His dad took him to Tower Records, introduced him to Too Short, and boom, lifelong passion.
Wow.
And this led him to actually start and run a gangster rap and hip-hop website back in the early 2000s.
Okay, that is a pivot. What's fascinating there, though, is you see that entrepreneurial streak early on, right?
And
community building.
Totally. This was before social media was everywhere.
Right. And his site was all about creating that direct connection between fans and artists, actually talking to them.
He even organized in-person events like barbecues, bringing artists and fans together.
That's really forward thinking for the time, pre-influencer culture, building a real scene.
Absolutely. Chris Barkley, one of the Make It podcast hosts, even mentioned a friend who had a similar idea, but for video games, connecting fans and players.
See, Gallardo was kind of ahead of the curve on building those online communities.
Definitely. There's also this funny bit in the original podcast where Chris talks about hearing NWA early on and mishearing the word posse.
Oh man, language evolution in hip-hop, that's a whole other thing. Funny, though.
Yeah, a nice little cultural touch point.
But thinking about that website, running that probably gave him amazing experience. Managing people, understanding audiences, dealing with artists.
Skills you definitely need in filmmaking.
Exactly. Even if it seems unrelated. And crucially, he sold that website.
So that's how he funded the jump.
Seems like it gave him the runway to actually pursue film. Starting with maybe the most unusual first PA job ever.
Oh, right. The softcore porn site.
Yeah. Talk about unexpected first steps.
Okay, so let's transition a bit. Let's talk about ethnicity and filmmaking.
Right. This is obviously a big theme for him.
He grew up Mexican-American in the San Gabriel Valley. He mentioned it was diverse, but also had, racial tensions.
So ethnicity was always kind of front and center in his life.
Yeah. And he touched on the complexity of Latino identity, saying, the Latino vote, the identity itself, it's not just one thing.
That's such a crucial point. It's a huge spectrum of cultures, nationalities, experiences. It's not monolithic at all.
He shared an experience where he was asked to pitch on an immigration story, and he just felt his perspective was worlds apart from the script.
Which really highlights why authentic voices and lived experiences matter so much in telling certain stories.
Definitely. But interestingly, he said he tries not to focus on obstacles related to his ethnicity.
Oh, how so?
He prefers to just find ways to make things happen, more solution oriented.
That's a powerful mindset. Resilience, focusing on getting it done rather than getting stuck on the barriers. Super valuable in creative fields.
Totally. He also weighed in on the whole Latinx debate.
Oh, yeah. What's his take?
He basically supports it as a way to be more inclusive, especially of women, even if he admits the usage can feel a bit awkward sometimes.
That's a thoughtful position. Prioritizing inclusivity while acknowledging language is still evolving.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about the film itself. 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me.
The Oscar qualifying one?
Yeah.
Powerful stuff.
The inspiration came from something incredibly disturbing, a real cell phone video.
Oh God, what was it?
It showed a teacher getting her elementary school kids to sing during an active shooting happening right outside their school.
Oh my God. Just unimaginable.
Yeah. And what really hit Gallardo was her courage, her compassion, just her selflessness in that moment.
That's the heart of it, isn't it? The human response in the face of that kind of horror.
Totally. He teamed up with Derek Ho to write it. Derek's a childhood friend. They've known each other since 6th grade.
Wow, long time. Was Derek always a screenwriter?
Apparently not. He wasn't initially interested, but Gallardo said he gave amazing feedback.
Sometimes those outside perspectives are gold, and that long friendship must create a solid foundation.
For sure.
Yeah,
and authenticity was the number one priority for Gallardo with this film.
How'd they ensure that?
They interviewed several teachers, really listened to their experiences. Even the title, 1, 2, 3, All Eyes on Me, came directly from those interviews.
That commitment to grounding it in reality, that's what gives it that punch.
Definitely. He described his style for this film as very deliberate, very on the nose.
Meaning
He wanted to respect the audience's time, aim for a raw emotional impact, no messing around. He used an easy rig camera setup.
Oh yeah, for that slightly handheld feel.
Exactly. To put you right there in the classroom, give it that immediacy, but without being super shaky or chaotic.
Immersive but controlled.
Right. He really wants to keep the audience locked in from start to finish. Avoid anything that pulls you out.
A strong directorial vision. And it's fascinating about his writing partner, Derek Ho. Not planning to be a screenwriter, but described as brilliant and multi-talented.
Yeah, and that 30-year friendship probably gives them incredible shorthand and trust.
Absolutely. That kind of collaboration is rare. Now, something else significant happened in his career, the HBO Access Directing Fellowship.
Right, that's a big one. Highly competitive program.
Yeah, HBO alternates writing and directing fellowships each year. It's designed to really develop people and connect them with work.
And he applied after going to Sundance, even though 1, 2, 3 hadn't actually gotten into Sundance that year.
Really? So he just went anyway?
Yep. And while there, he had a good chat with Leslie Cohen from HBO Latino. That planted the seed.
Ah, networking.
Plus, his co-producer apparently suggested HBO would be a good fit stylistically for his work, which prompted him to look into their programs.
It just shows you got to put yourself out there, make connections. Opportunities can pop up even when things don't go exactly to plan.
Definitely a lesson there. Now, before all this film stuff really solidified, we mentioned he was in tech.
Right, for a decade. In the Bay Area, successful company, managing a product.
So it's comfortable, lucrative even.
Yeah, but he felt unfulfilled.
Yeah.
Deeply.
Which is powerful, right? That passion, that purpose, sometimes it just outweighs the stable, successful path. Something for you, the listener, to maybe think about.
Absolutely. So what did he do?
He enrolled in film school at night while still working the demanding tech job.
Whoa. For how long?
18 months. And get this, he made 6 films during that time.
6 films while working full-time in tech and going to school. That's intense.
Insane. But it was driven by needing that fulfillment and this fear of regretting not pursuing film. He mentioned his own father had unrealized musical dreams.
That parallel, feeling like he didn't want to end up with that same regret.
Exactly. He actually said he didn't see it as courage, just the obvious choice for him.
That speaks volumes about how strong that pull towards filmmaking was. To leave stability for uncertainty like that takes real conviction.
Yeah. And he feels every story has a piece of the creator in it, even if it's not obvious.
It's that personal connection.
Right. The writing process, especially with these partners, is about digging deep to find the core, what they really want to say.
He also talked about vulnerability, didn't he?
He did. How being vulnerable as a creator leads to stronger, more resonant work. He connected it to something he learned in songwriting. Stay open to connect with the audience.
Emotional honesty seems like a cornerstone for him.
Definitely. He also brought up Rosa Parks, interestingly.
In what context?
Thinking about how he might tell her story differently. Maybe focusing on where her conviction came from, a moment before she became this huge icon.
Exploring the origin, the person behind the symbol.
Yeah. And it led to a discussion in the original podcast about some lesser-known details of her experience on that bus. More complex than the simple story we often hear.
It's a great reminder, right? There are always deeper layers, especially with historical figures.
For sure. Okay, let's talk advice. What mistakes does he see new filmmakers make?
His big one seems to be chasing trends instead of following their own passion.
Right. Just doing what seems popular.
He used 1, 2, 3 as an example. Said lots of people questioned it, like, why make such a difficult film?
But he felt compelled to.
Exactly. His core message is create from the heart. Have something meaningful you want to say. Filmmaking takes so much time and sacrifice.
Make it count.
Yeah. Dedicate that effort to stories that matter to you. His advice, though, he hesitated to call it advice, is basically right from that deep internal place, not just based on what's hot or what gear you have easy access to.
Find your voice through your own drive.
That's it. Authenticity resonates more than just following the crowd.
Such a good point. Okay, completely random anecdote time.
Uh-oh. What now?
He told a story about a hot air balloon ride.
Okay.
Over the Valley of the Kings in Egypt on a trip with his girlfriend.
Wow. Sounds amazing.
Except he's terrified of heights.
Oh no, he still did it.
Did it for her. Described it as terrifying, but also incredibly beautiful. He even compared his fear to how he feels about David Blaine's crazy stunts, like that balloon ascension thing.
Just to emphasize how much he dislikes heights, that's quite a story.
Shows he'll step out of his comfort zone, though.
True. In life and maybe in film, too. So what's he working on now? Upcoming projects?
He mentioned a feature film called Asylum, working with Eric Ho again.
Okay, what's that about?
Tackling injustices in the U.S. immigration system. He said it'll have a similar, intense, emotional feel to 1, 2, 3.
Sticking with those powerful, challenging themes. Anything else?
Yeah, also developing a dramedy pilot called BBC.
BBC.
Like the network.
No. It's about a black male porn star working with a different writing partner on that and getting creative input from HBO.
Okay, so tackling social issues and more provocative character stuff. Diverse slate.
Definitely. And for anyone listening who wants to see his work, 1, 2, 3, All Eyes on Me premieres on HBO this April. Excellent. Date TBD, but coming soon. And it's in Oscar contention, right?
Yeah. Huge accomplishment. So it'll be across the U.S. on HBO, and they're working on overseas deals too.
Great. And where can people find him online?
Best bet is Instagram. His personal is @EmilG80, and his production company is @Waterlight Films.
Good to know. We should probably wrap up, but wasn't there one more funny story?
Yes. The closing anecdote. It circled back to that very first job.
The softcore porn site.
Exactly.
Yes.
He told this funny story about working with a performer known as the Queen of Anal.
Oh, my.
He just remembers her being surprisingly frail and wearing this back brace between takes. So he never understood why.
What a random specific memory.
It kind of perfectly bookends his unconventional journey, right?
Yeah.
Just willing to jump into weird situations.
Definitely paints a picture.
So So, yeah, it's really incredible hearing about Emil Gallardo's path, that initial spark, the tech detour, and then creating something as powerful as 1, 2, 3, All Eyes on Me.
His dedication to authenticity, tackling tough subjects, it's a really strong example for any creative out there.
Absolutely. We definitely encourage you to check out 1, 2, 3, All Eyes on Me on HBO this April. Explore his work.
And maybe think about your own journey for a second. You know, what unexpected paths have brought you to your passions?
Yeah. And what stories do you feel compelled to tell, even if they're not what's currently trending?
Definitely something to mull over after this deep dive.
Hey everybody, Chris here. Before you go, if you enjoy our work and want to support what we do at Make It, please subscribe to the Make It podcast channel on YouTube and rate and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We have terrific tees, hoodies, hats, and more at cottonbureau.com. Just search for the Make It podcast and our store will come right up. If you have feedback for us, email us at contact@bonsai.film. Our insider newsletter, Indie Insights, is available at www.bonsai.film/subscribe. And you can also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and X at _MakeItPodcast. Until next time, and on behalf of the team at Make It, be better, be creative, be engaged, and thank you for listening.
Men, if you're ready to reclaim your edge, listen up. I used to be held back by constant bathroom trips with multiple wake-ups during my sleep and looking for restrooms whenever I was out. Then I discovered Better Man. After just 2 months, I started experiencing fewer trips to the bathroom, less urge to go, and I even slept through some nights. I feel a noticeable boost in my overall well-being, even sexual stamina. It gives me the freedom and confidence to live life on my terms. Better Man is clinically tested and trusted by thousands of men over 25 years. Ready to take back control? Go to BeBetterNow.com to order your supply today. That's BeBetterNow.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed. Individual results may vary.